It's early morning, Anchorage International Airport. While most people are sleeping, Northern Air Cargo is well into a typical day. It's like this week in, week out, all year long. Cargo of all sizes, shapes, and kinds, stacked and loaded, heading out to every corner of Alaska. Northern Air Cargo provides a lifeline of supplies, not only for rural residents, but also for the businesses they operate. Many times their only connection to the outside is by air. That means whatever they need has to fit into an airplane. And Northern Air Cargo has been providing that vital air link for the past 40 years. It all began with the dream of two young pilots, Bobby Schulten and Maury Carlson. Back in the early 1950s, when Bobby was flying passengers and mail for Wayne and Alaska Airlines, he saw a business opportunity. Bobby and Maury were convinced that rural Alaska would support a carrier dedicated to air cargo. What they needed was the right aircraft, which at the time turned out to be the C-82 flying boxcar. For their day, the flying boxcar had tremendous cargo lifting capability. It was this capacity, coupled with the ability to operate on small, remote airstrips, that made it possible for Bobby to begin Alaska's first all-cargo airline in 1956. Soon, Northern Air Cargo's flying boxcars were a common sight throughout the state, and people quickly grew to depend on this new air cargo link. Northern Air Cargo grew with the state in the 60s and 70s, pioneering the delivery of specialized cargo, such as mining equipment, vehicles, boats, even livestock. Whatever needed to be shipped, Northern Air Cargo handled the job. In fact, the employees coined a very appropriate operating philosophy. You name it, we fly it. As the loads got larger over the years, so did the aircraft. In 1969, the boxcars were joined by the first DC-6. During the next 10 years, 14 of these aircraft joined the fleet. With these additions, it was possible for Northern Air Cargo to keep up with changing customer demand. Then in 1982, the company received approval to begin scheduled service with the first flight on December 17th. That day marked a major transition for the company. Just 24 hours before this initial scheduled flight, Bobby Schulten died after a long illness. Some companies might have faltered or sold out at this point. Not Northern Air Cargo. To Bobby's credit, he not only created a fine airline, he also assembled a group of people who shared his commitment to quality service. Today, 40 years after Bobby Schulten's first flight, Northern Air Cargo supplies more Alaskans with all freight service than any other carrier. With its fleet of DC-6 and 727 aircraft, the company flies daily scheduled service, charters, and flag stops from its hubs in Anchorage and Fairbanks to more than 100 destinations throughout the state. From these points, cargo is moved by our agents to almost any Alaska location you can name. These experienced people have played an important role on the Northern Air Cargo team since the beginning. As local business owners, they know the shipping needs of their community and make it possible for Northern Air Cargo to meet those needs. This is the type of market understanding that gave rise to our Lower 48 service. Now, customers anywhere in Alaska can make one call to Northern Air Cargo and have their shipment moved to Alaska from anywhere in the Lower 48. Northern Air Cargo handles all the logistics, whether shipment be by land, sea, or air. The service is fast, cost-effective, and serves the needs of our Alaskan clients. We also provide our own pickup and delivery services in Anchorage, Fairbanks, and Seattle, making it easier than ever to ship with Northern Air Cargo, no matter what your load. If your shipping needs require faster handling than our usual overnight delivery, Ask about our NAC Priority Package service. It's the ideal way to send payroll, replacement parts, equipment, or any package of 50 pounds or less. How fast is a NAC shipment? Your package leaves on the next flight out. We'll even give you a money-back guarantee. No one moves more air freight in Alaska than Northern Air Cargo. Over 100 million pounds a year, including every type of load you can imagine, big and small. From machinery, to fuel, to fresh fish, to the U.S. mail. This versatility saves you time and money, especially when you ship long or outsized items to remote sites. Moving hazardous materials? No problem. Our people are professionals and highly experienced in handling hazmat. For the past 40 years, Northern Air Cargo has safely carried compressed gases, corrosives, flammables, and explosives without incident. If you have any questions about shipping hazardous materials, we've got the answers. This dedication to quality service makes the difference between ordinary and superior performance. It's a company philosophy that began with Bobby Schulten and is carried on today by the Schulten family, all of whom are actively involved in the family business and have proven careers in the airline industry. Rita Schulten is chairman of the board of directors. Daughter Mary is president, guiding day-to-day operations. Bobby's sons, Adam and Paul, are also involved. Adam is a captain on the Boeing 727, Paul as a member of the board of directors. Working with a corps of talented managers, the Schultens have assembled a professional team of cargo specialists dedicated to serving the shipping needs of the customers and markets we serve. It all adds up to unsurpassed performance and a safety record second to none. That record was acknowledged in October 1995 when the Federal Aviation Administration presented Northern Air Cargo with a special award recognizing almost 4 decades of accident-free and injury-free flying. A record like that doesn't just happen. It's the result of constant attention to detail involving the flight crew and all the disciplines required to keep an airline operating smoothly and safely. For example, maintenance is a priority, and we do it ourselves in our own facility, assuring maximum fleet safety and efficiency. From the very beginning, Northern Air Cargo has focused on being responsive to customer needs. Bobby Schulten's philosophy was that you do whatever it takes to get the job done. That spirit remains strong today. And being Alaskans, we understand the unique shipping requirements you face, and we do everything possible to get the job done right and on time. In most cases, shipments leave Anchorage and Fairbanks the same day they are received, or early the next morning. Extra flights are always scheduled to meet demand, assuring your shipment arrives as promised. The result is your shipment moves out fast. And when it leaves, it's in the hands of our very capable and experienced flight crews. They not only fly the aircraft, they work with our local agents to handle unloading, loading, and customer service in each location we serve. It's a level of personal attention available only from Northern Air Cargo. In 1956, Bobby Schulten looked into the future and predicted that air cargo would be the key to Alaska's growth. He took decisive action to make that vision come true, assembling a team of air cargo professionals. Over the years, the team has grown, but the mission has remained the same: to provide Alaskans with the finest freight service available. That's a tradition of which we are proud. And because we are in business for the long haul, we continue to look into the future, identifying exciting new ways to serve you with reliable air cargo service well into the next century.
Northern Air Cargo, serving Alaskans with 40 years of scheduled flag stop and charter service throughout Alaska, Canada, and the Pacific Northwest.